the problems we have with adapting these plays for a modern audience is the fact that they're over 400 years old. You have seen this fact subverted with Shakespeare's plays being transposed to such locales as the lunar landscape, Nazi concentration camps, Cleveland, Ohio, and plays starring Leonardo DiCaprio. Following this trend, we have decided to stage Shakespeare's first tragedy, Titus Andronnicus, as a cooking show.
Oh, hello, everyone! Good evening, torments, and welcome to Roman Meals. I'm your host, Titus Andronnicus. Now, a long day at work, your son's murdered, your daughter raped, both her hands chopped off, her tongue chopped off, your left hand chopped off. Well, the last thing you want to do is cook. Unless, of course, you cook the rapist, and you serve him to his mother at a dinner party. My daughter Lavinia, I'll show you how.
Good evening, Mother.
Oh, yes, how are we feeling tonight?
Oh, not so good, Mother. I got my tongue chopped off.
Oh, I know, it's a pisser, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the goal.
Oh, thank you. It is a pisser, but we'll get her revenge, won't we? Now, hark, villain! I'll grind your bones to dust, and of your blood in it I'll make a paste, and of the paste a coffin I will rear. I'll make a pasty and you'll shave your head. Come to me and receive the blood. Now, the first thing you're going to want to do is make a nice from carotid artery to jugular vein, like so.
Ah! Not the beef! Not the beef! Ah!
Right, so. Now, be sure to use a big bowl for this because the human body contains about 4 quarts of blood. And when he is dead, which should be right about... Yes, right about now, let me go grind his bones to powder small, and in this heatful liquid temperate. And in this paste let his vile head be baked at about 350 degrees. And about 40 minutes later, you have the loveliest human head pie with lady fingers for dessert, fit to serve a king.
Favorite.
Who'll be the first to try this delicious taste treat? Welcome, gracious lord. Welcome, dread queen. Won't you please eat? Won't you please feed? It's finger-licking good. Oh, that's about all the time we have. Be sure to join us next week when our special guest chef, Tim of Athens, teaches us how to make a lovely ratatouille out of our other special guest, the Merry Wives of Windsor. Until then, bon appetit!
I hope you guys weren't too offended by Titus Andronicus. Shakespeare, as an early writer, seems to have gone through a blood and guts phase. He was basically emo. I mean, no doubt, if he were alive today, he'd be in Hollywood with Quentin Tarantino working on Titus Andronicus' 9 just desserts. But we now move on to the genius evident in Shakespeare's later plays, as we present his dark and brooding tragedy, Othello, the Moor of Venice.
Think of me as I am. Let nothing institute of one who loved not wisely but too well. For never there was a tale of more woe than this of Othello and his Desdemone. Oh! Oh, Desi!
Some house lights, please. We left Brandon on his own to research the play, and obviously he must have looked up more in the dictionary and thought it was a place where you tie up boats.
Where it is. Which is totally pea-brained because, of course, as everyone should know, in the 16th century, the word moor did not mean boats or anything to do with boats. It actually meant a black person. Oh. I'm like such a dork. So, obviously, we're going to have some problems performing the character of Othello, the Moor of Venice. As you can see, we're kind of...
I listened to a lot of Kanye West.
Been like 6 NASCAR events. It's great. It's like,
wrong.
Basically, is what we're trying to say. So, due to physical limitations, we're sorry, but we cannot...
Guys, just because we're white doesn't mean we can't do Othello. I mean, I got an idea. But you gotta roll with me on this one, right? You gotta promise me you're gonna be there.
Try it.
All right. Here's the story of a brother by the name of Othello. He liked white women and he liked green jello.
Okay. And a punk named Iago who made himself a menace.
Because he didn't like Othello, the Moor of Venice.
Now Othello got married to Desdemona.
When he took off for the wars and he left her alone.
It was a Mona.
A Grona.
He left her alone.
He didn't write a letter and he didn't tell Othello. Oh! That's the one she was making. She was chastity type. She was the daughter of a king. She was totally white.
But Iago had a clever slip. He was crafty.
He was sort of a dick.
He said, I'm gonna shut the door.
How you gonna do it? Tell us.
All I know is trying to get
Too damn tough.
So
So we found the Trump singer by the name of Catherine.
And plants on Desdemona's hand.
Othello starts to work. Maybe yes, but even now,
Commanding an army.
Our Desi and Cass playing hide the salami.
Salami. He comes out with his
Kills her and solidifies us not as disgrace.
there's a million at the door.
We met in Act 4.
You say a big dummy? She wasn't no whore. She was pure, she was clean, she was virginal too.
So why you have to go and make the face turn blue?
It's true. Yeah, what's she gonna do?
And Othello said, you know, this is getting pretty scary.
So he pulled out his blade and committed Harry Carey.
But he probably got
Loaded up his bags.
Moved to Beverly Hills, that is. Africa. Why don't we take a break from all these heavy tragedies and do comedies for a while?
Okay, yeah.
Shakespeare wrote 16 comedies. Now, he was an expert at borrowing and adapting plot devices from different contemporary works.
Yeah, some of these influences include the Roman plays of Plautus and Terence, Ovid's Metamorphoses, which are hysterically funny, as well as the rich Italian tradition of the Commedia dell'arte.
Yeah, basically Shakespeare stole everything he ever wrote.
Well, still it's kind of strong. I mean, still, rather.
Well, he distilled the 3 or 4 funniest gimmicks of his time and then he milked them into 16 plays.
Yeah, basically Shakespeare was a formula writer, was what it boils down to. Once he found a device that worked, he used it over and over and over again. Now, Mr. Shakespeare, the question we have for you is this. Why did you write 16 comedies when you could have written just one?
Now, in answer to this, we've taken all 16 of Shakespeare's comedies and condensed them into one, which we have entitled The Comedy of Two Well-Measured Gentlemen Lost in the Merry Wives of Venice on 12th Midsummer's Night in Winter.
Or Simply Taming Pericles and the Tempest of Love as much as you like it for nothing. Or The Love Boat Goes to Rome. Comedy. Comedy.